Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your Uncle Oski here. How you doing today? Let's go for another walk. Uh, you know, Something that I've been thinking about to myself, when it comes to looking at my lifestyle, looking at just, some of the ways other people live and stuff like that. And I came to a conclusion on something. And that is that sometimes good enough is good enough. Now, you're probably wondering, what are you talking about, dude? What does that even mean, right? So here's what I mean, right? I feel like we all strive for the absolute best. And now, granted, you should be, right? I mean, we try not to half ass things. We don't want things that are half assed. We hate when people do half assed work, stuff like that, right? So you want to get the optimal best out of everything. And I get that. That's awesome. You know, I'm like that. Most people I know are like that. But here's the thing, right? Those are the optimal result for the most optimal situation. I guess the best way to I know it sounds kind of confusing, and I'm not doing a very good job explaining it, so I'll just kind of uh, let me run through like a list of things right here, and you'll kind of see what I'm trying to articulate here, right? We'll peel this back together, and truly understand what the fuck I'm even talking about here, right? So let's start with this. So, right, I imagine people are sick of hearing me talk about streaming subscriptions, but here we go. This is relevant here. Trust me, I'm not just beating a dead horse here, right? Let's say you're struggling financially, right? My biggest suggestion would be just to get rid of as many streaming subscriptions as possible. But let's say you're someone who's super addicted to a show, you want to keep them, you don't want to compromise and get rid of it. All right, dude. So, here's what you can do, right? You can Let's say you are subscribed to 5 different services, and with all of them you have the highest tier of subscription on each. Here's the thing. You don't need that highest tier. Now, you might think you do, but you really, really don't. Especially if you're in a place where you're struggling financially, or you're like, oh, I'm kind of stressed on time, but I don't really want to get rid of all this. Take the ones that you are least using and maybe drop it down a tier. Instead of paying like, I don't know, $24 for the highest tier of whatever, Netflix, HBO Max, pick the second highest plan. Choose that one, because I guarantee you the only real most of these streaming subscriptions, the only real difference from the tippy top tier to the one below it is the amount of devices that you can stream from, like simultaneously or whatever. Like, especially if you're single, dude, like you do not need that higher tier. I get it, right? I used to be that guy of just like, well, sometimes I want to watch Netflix on my phone while it's signed in, or I'm watching somewhere else, or maybe my family's using it, blah blah blah, right? But if you're in a place where it's really financially like make or break time, just get rid of it. Just my realist suggestion would be to get rid of it, but I would say drop tiers, man. Drop tiers. Like you especially if you're someone who really doesn't care for 4K, trust me, you do not need that top tier. You really, really don't. So like just start dropping it down, right? Another Here's another one, right? There are and I mean a crazy amount of like luxury gyms. Like there's a lot of gyms that offer a lot, but here's the thing, right? If you're not competing for like Mr. Olympia or a strongman contest, Planet Fitness, as memeable, as ridiculous as the people are there, the lunkler, all that bullshit, right? Here's the thing, right? Here's the truth. For most people, Planet Fitness is good enough. It has cardio machines. It's got weightlifting machines. I mean, good God. I mean, the we just got a couple of new machines at the Planet Fitness that I go to. We got Hack Squat in there. We got all these things, right? Like when you go to different gyms, especially if you go to higher tier gyms, and I'm not talking about like real luxurious gyms. Like I think there's one in New York City that's just, it's absolutely unreal that like it has all this technology that trust me, you really don't need that. But most of us aren't even like sniffing those types of gyms, right? But like, like a Planet Fitness, I think right now, Planet Fitness, I think for the black card, so where you can go to any Planet Fitness, get like the massages and stuff like that, like it's $20. If you compare that to, let's say, a gym where you have to pay like 100 plus a month, if you're not like super, super serious about bodybuilding, about strongman, about all this stuff, you don't need to be breaking the bank for a gym that crazy. Like Planet Fitness is good enough for you. Does it have free, like weightless, squatting and bench presses? No, it has Smith machines, and don't get me wrong, they're not as efficient. But like, dude, you do not need all this crazy shit. Like, you just need somewhere for you to go pick shit up and put it down. That's really all you need. You do not need to be paying for a crazy goddamn gym. You really, really don't. Ergo, again, good enough. Sometimes good enough is good enough. Planet Fitness is good enough for most people. Here's another thing. People break the bank on crazy cars that they cannot afford. Dude, you don't think I want to be rolling around in a Beamer, in a Porsche, in some crazy, like, just nice car? Of course I do, but I have other bills to pay. If I sacrificed almost everything non-essential, could I get a crazy car? Of course I could. I could even get like right now I'm driving a Subaru Impreza, right? 2021 Subaru Impreza. I could probably get a new Crosstrek with the works. I mean, everything in that package I could get, but the cost would be absolutely unreal. Like, you don't, like, dude, I get it, right? Most people do not want the standard version of a car anymore because they want the bells and whistles. But there's a difference between wanting something and realistically, like, what works for you. If you want, let's say you want a new car and you don't want a standard edition of a car, dude, go one trim up. One trim up. Let's say, usually from base, I think usually it'll go up to like either a sport or a pre. I don't even know. They keep making up. I feel like everything has tiers now, and they're all aiming for you to get the highest tier. But who cares? Like, or the limited, I guess, would be the highest tier for a fucking car. But realistically, you need something to get you to work, to get you to places that you need to be. A slightly higher tier version of a base. I mean, I have a base for my car, and honestly, I don't need all the bells and whistles. I just need it to get me places, and I can connect Bluetooth to it or Android Auto. That is all I need. I don't need, unless you're like a car guy and like this is your thing, and this is, or you're filthy fucking rich, where it doesn't really matter, where it doesn't really matter how much you pay for a car because it's all, hundreds of basically toilet paper for you. But for most people, like a base version car or like the trim above it is good enough for you. You do not need all this crazy crap, dude. Think about your other bills. Think about the sacrifices you'll have to make for this car that is only going to devalue the longer you have it. Like, dude, don't break the bank on these crazy cars. Don't sacrifice all this stuff just for a nicer car, like a real nicer car. You don't need a limited. You don't need the absolute premium on anything, dude. Get what you need and stop there. Unless, like I said, you're a car guy, it's your thing, or you're filthy rich. Besides that, you're fine with a base model car, my guy. And like, lastly, here's the thing I feel like I and most people really, 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 really dump money into. And that's like premium foods, man. Like, my God, the amount of money I've wasted on food that I know for sure I could have gotten somewhere cheaper, but for whatever reason I saw it as premium. Look, man, the amount of times I'll be driving by, and don't get me wrong, like, I get where I am. I understand. I'm in Massachusetts, right? But I'm not in like a super rich area of Massachusetts. I mean, no, granted, how much money I make and blah blah blah. If you compare that to somewhere like Alabama, I'm, you know, I'm well off. I'm up, you know, whatever, right? But the amount of times that I'll pass a Whole Foods and the parking lot is just bumper to bumper full, dude. I can't. Every time I go, don't get me wrong, Whole Foods is sick, especially their food bar. I love their food bar. It's actually really really good, right? But dude, almost anything, like almost anything that you find at Whole Foods, you can get somewhere else for a lot less. And don't get me wrong, are some of the items in there a lot, and I mean like a lot higher quality than some of the other, you know, than stuff you'd find somewhere else? Of course, right? But the amount of people I know that pay that luxury price for all this stuff and then complain about money, it's like, well, what do you expect? You shop at Whole Foods, dude. Go to like Market Basket or Shaw's. I know this is very this is very New England coded, but like you know, if we're talking about like the South or something, it's like, dude, go to Publix or go to Winn-Dixie. You know, like you don't there you don't need to pay a premium on all this stuff for food, especially if you're like, if we're looking to cut back on money, dude. Don't get me wrong, like meat prices are out of control in general, right? But different tiers of meat have different pricing. Go with a cheaper option. You know, go with ground beef. You know, go with ground beef. The ground beef, it's still expensive, but like it's cheaper than getting whole steaks, and that shit could feed you for a long, long time. I would know. I get like 3 pounds of freaking of ground beef, and I got food for like a week almost, for like 4 or 5 days, especially with the right serving sizes, dude. And you know, it's one of them. Dude, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to like not treat yourself. You know, sometimes even when money's tight, like sometimes you got to just treat yourself so you can make it through the day and not blow your fucking brains out. I get it, right? I get it. But but we got to be careful about this stuff, man. We really do. Like water's another, dude. Water is water, dog. Water is water. Like if you're picky about your water, because don't get me wrong, there are definitely times where I'll drink like a Nestle water or like fucking Dasani, and I'm just like, I'm not feeling this. This doesn't taste right. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll usually go for like Poland Spring or something, right? That's my preferred, I guess. But really, if you're struggling with money and you want to buy in bulk or whatever, dude, like, just all you need is water. Water is goddamn water, dude. Like, first of all, it's survival. You need it to survive. So just get the water, man. Just get it. Like, I know I'm sounding like a prick, but I really like, what liquid elixir, gold elixir do you need, right? Like, do you really need a water bottle that costs like $15? For what? Tell me. For what? The electrolytes, the minerals, and all that stuff, dude. You're telling me that you're struggling to pay your bills and you're buying like mineral water that's costing like, I don't know, $15 for a case of 12? What the fuck are you doing? Don't go crying to nobody else because you don't have any goddamn money when you're paying that much for like water or something, right? Like I said, I really don't know if I've done a great job articulating my point here, but there are everyday essentials that we need. You know, you need a car pretty much in in most countries, really. Like, you need a car. You really do. Like, we've become a road centric society in most places, right? So I'm never going to tell you not to get a car, but just be smart about what car you get. You know, I'll always advocate someone going to the gym to get healthier. You know, I'm not the healthiest man myself, but like I get my ass to the gym. I work out. What I'm telling you not to do is to pay $150 for, you know, for a gym, when for most people a Planet Fitness is perfectly fine for you. You know, and the same goes with everything else I've talked about, whether it's food, whether it's subscription. Take this philosophy, especially if you're struggling, take this philosophy and apply it to yourself. Of course, we all want the highest quality thing, right? But sometimes you really do not need it. Most of the times you really don't need it. All you need most of the time is good enough. And I think we really, really, really need to get that into our heads, because we are a lot of people are struggling, but a lot of people are also making a lot of really bad decisions. They're overextending themselves. Listen, get what you need. That's it. So that's all I got for today, guys. I'll stop preaching and rambling on today. So, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on our next hike. Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys. Bye.